Hello viewers, Kubiyando Kith and Kin, I'm SB and welcome back to I Was A Teenage Exocolonist, where hopefully bad luck is just going to take a break this episode. It's just going to kind of sit back and let things unfold, because I don't know how much more I can stand. So we're entering now the final month of dust season, the hot season. Moving into, I don't even know what, actually. Does Tangent have anything to say to us yet? Nope. Not allowed to stray from the gates. My guess is there's probably not going to be any major changes here before the end of the season. But let's just poke everybody real quick. Yep, you got all that currency and nothing to do with it. Same, actually. I guess, you know, they'll pop up a little word bubble to tell us when there's something new, won't they? You're looking for Cal in the garden when you nearly trip over someone else. One of the younger kids, and they're blindfolded? Hey, they exclaim, ripping the blindfold off their face and throwing it to the ground. It's Cirrus, one of Anemone's brothers. He glares at you. I was almost done. Cal jogs over and grabs Cirrus in a friendly headlock, ruffling his messy red hair. Cirrus stamps his feet and complains that you got in his way. It's not her fault, Cal says. She didn't know we were playing a game. Give me a sec, I want to teach her how to play. Cal turns to you as Cirrus leaves. Sorry, Samhain, he says sheepishly. I was teaching Cirrus a new game, but he's more like Anemone than I thought. He's real competitive, you know? He stoops to pick up the blindfold, brushing off the dirt. I've been trying to come up with different kinds of games other than sports ball, he says. No winners or losers. I just want to have fun with my friends. Cal looks at you hopefully. Do you want to learn how to play? Okay, you know, I would feel a little silly responding this way. Our character's a child. Let me check my schedule. Yes. Cal's smile looks like it's going to stretch right off of his face. Radical, he shouts, jumping up and down with excitement. Okay, so first, put on this blindfold. The blindfold is a little scratchy and smells like dirt. You can feel Cal's big hands on your shoulders. All right, I'm going to spin you around, and when I let go, you got to listen to my instructions. We're going to walk all the way to the cafeteria, okay? You nod. You can't see Cal's grin, but you can hear it in his voice as he spins you around and counts to 10. 1, 2, 3. All right, first, Cal says, you got to walk forward 10 steps. Do you follow Cal's instructions as best you can or make things difficult for him? I mean, I do want to make a little troublesome. I want to just be a little troublesome. I like Cal. Cal and I are getting along just fine. Maybe I don't want to ruin his game, but I do kind of want to just make like a little bit of trouble. I'm going to make it work for it. You take 10 large steps, feeling the squelch of dirt under your shoes as you wade into the garden beds. Samhain, Cal cries out, you're going to get me in trouble. You shrug. Okay, next you're going to turn a little bit to the right. You turn a lot of bit to the right. No, Cal gasps, but he's definitely laughing now. Come on, Samhain, I said a little bit. You tilt your head to the side like you're listening, then spread your arms wide and spin around in circles while Cal howls with laughter. Cal, Samhain. A sharp voice cuts through the garden. Oh, Dip, it's your mom. What's gotten into you? She scolds as you sheepishly take off the blindfold. Get out of the garden beds this instant, little girl, or you will be in so much trouble. Cal looks gutted. Oh, I'm so sorry, Auntie, he says, staring at the ground. I was trying to teach Samhain how to play a new game, but I didn't do it good. No, hold on, this isn't his fault. You tell your mom it was your fault. Okay, empathy and bravery. I think that's fair. Those are fair rewards. She raises her eyebrow at you. I know, Samhain. You're the one I caught trampling the turnips. Both of you, get out of here for the rest of the day, and no more games in the garden. Cal squeaks as he grabs your hand and you run out of the garden, away from your mom grousing about the broken plants. When you're far enough away, he turns to you and bursts into giggles. That was wild, he shouts. Thanks, Samhain. I really want your mom to like me and let me help out in the garden more. It's my favorite place in the whole colony. I wonder if, like there are lots of decisions in video games where it seems like there's one option that seems really obviously like the thing to pick. There's a lot of games with these like extremely black and white moral systems and stuff. But honestly, it's stuff like that where I wonder if anybody actually ever picks the let another child get in trouble on account of the thing I chose to do option. Like probably basically nobody, right? Okay, right. This did not have a new dialogue indicator. Okay, so we'll just what was I doing? I was probably going to go to school, right? I do need to pick up more biology knowledge. Yeah, let's do that. We're not necessarily the greatest at this, but I need it. Life sciences, biology, reasoning is important. Yeah. For today's lesson, Professor Hal tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Vertumna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over a meter a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tange and Cal and are given a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tange looks up surveyor's notes on the HoloNet. Mush trees, she reads, are most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. Oh, what if we use water instead of soil? Cal suggests, like they do with the hydroponics. Tange nods. Well, if they like wet weather, that might work. Samhain, do you have any suggestions? Probably don't run an electric current through it. Did she say stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp? So, like, probably don't put it under a bright grow light. If it's stormy, it's going to be cloudy a lot, right? Man, maybe running an electric current through it is right. Maybe there are lightning storms. Maybe. You know what? It's like a cool idea. I think maybe our character would be taken enough by this that we should click it whether or not it's right. Actually, on second thought. Yeah, let's go for it. Or I could just say all of the above. What if we did all of these things? I don't like the bright grow light. We're going to say run an electric current through it. What? Tange exclaims. Samhain, how does that have any basis in reality? She looks to Cal for support, and he just shrugs, but he doesn't look convinced either. Neither understand why you'd want to electrocute a plant. You explain, well, there are storms in the swamp, electrical storms, and maybe that somehow, well, maybe Samhain is right, Tange nods slowly. It could make sense, and if it is true, we'd be the first ones to discover it. This is enough to entice Tange into most things. I think this is probably a really good explanation of how the two of us became friends, sort of like the dynamic that holds us together. I have some crazy idea that's just close enough to reality. You attach a small battery to run a weak current through the bucket of water and drop the spore in. The next morning, your spore is the only one already growing. By the end of the day, it's already half a meter tall. And the day after that, it's so huge it hits the ceiling, and you have to move it outside because somebody was paying attention to the text. +1 biology, also hooray. Your tree outpaces the others by a long shot. At the end of the week, Tange proudly displays an edit to the surveyor's HoloNet notes. Shows rapid growth when stimulated with a mild electric current, as discovered by our junior botanists. Hell yeah. We work together. So well. Okay, so I gotta write down the rules here. I'm like having to relearn the rules every time. Okay, so the straight does work this way. So what we want to do is play out the long straight rather than but the +1 doesn't just ride as a +1, it actually changes it to a 4. Okay. In which case, the value of just putting the 3 blues together is also 3 points, right? Yeah, I don't know that this matters terribly. Alright, so if I move this over, I put the 0 here. Get ourselves a pretty decent straight. That'll work. Oh, I didn't get the extra kudos. There was a 14 in there. I'm still not 100% clear on when... Because it seems like sometimes when there are conflicts, you don't necessarily get all of the... If the cards work as a flush and as a set and as a straight, I'm still not 100% clear on what takes precedence over what. And also, I'm trying not to spend too much time on any individual puzzle, especially if we have an outcome that works. But maybe I'm going to regret that. Maybe I will really wish I had optimized all of the kudos possible. Tangent is watching a construction crew build scaffolding for the new engineering pavilion. They're using mushwood, which is so light that one person can easily lift a 10-meter long pole and stack it into place. She points toward them. Human beings are so great, don't you think? Before we landed, this was all just dirty jungle. Now it's civilization. I've been learning about adaptability in writing and biology class. The books say it's what sets us apart from the animals. Like, we don't need fur because we can make warm clothes. And if it's too hot, we can make air conditioners instead. I cannot say also we can sweat, because that's just not a thing you could know about without 15 points of biology, obviously. Well, maybe the animals have neat adaptations. Tangent rolls her eyes at you. Maybe, but even if they do, I haven't seen any sign of intelligent life here yet. It's just these big dumb xenofauna. Well, I think, no, our character likes animals, though. I don't think we would go along just to get along here. Hey, some animals here are smart and friendly. Tange looks skeptical. They're still animals, Samhain. Maybe they're just pretending to be nice so they'll feed them. So you'll feed them. You're lucky it didn't eat you. She folds her arms. Dorbsmith look cute, but one can eat through a bag of rice in less than 30 minutes. Even an herbivore could be dangerous here. It doesn't have to want to eat you to be able to hurt you. Together, you watch as the foreman puts the blueprints for the scaffolding onto the floating screen of her hollow palm and raises it to the scaffolding to check their progress. I'd like to see an alien do that, Tange says primly. Humans look defenseless and weak, but we're the strongest species in the galaxy. Who else can literally bend reality to their will? Not a stupid alien, that's for sure. We don't know that. She puts one finger to her chin. I'm living proof that humanity is greater than our biology, she says. I mean, all of us are, really, with our genetic enhancements. We're the next step in humanity's evolution from great ape to galactic superspecies. I mean, that's not the wrongest thing I've ever heard, but I think there are other ways to frame it. I don't know. She might not be totally wrong. Anemone, okay, has the same thing. Okay, so we can get with toughness 40, we could get our butt kicked. Cool. It's weird how, like, it's weird how the text is growing and shrinking and we're, like, losing focus on the button. But weird. Okay. So we should not assume that people will always have something new to say at the beginning of a season, but this sure does. And I don't quite have the perception to track it. Which is a real shame, because I would really like to know what's going on here. It's pouring rain and everyone's trying to stay dry under their grass-roofed palapas. Everyone except Dis. Off in the distance, over at the wall near the sports ball field, he's definitely skulking. I cannot get it to show me my perception. There we go, 10. Yeah, so we're not that far off, but we haven't really had the opportunity to raise it. I don't know that I want to tell someone. I don't think we need adults involved in Dis's life more. I don't think he would like that, certainly. He needs a friend. I don't want to be a snitch. He's probably just, like, being weird. I'm just going to ignore him. When you glance back again, Dis is gone. telling an authority figure what's up is not necessarily my go-to move. I hope you will understand. Well, you're looking a little worn out, my little firefly. Your dad greets you, looking concerned. You know, despite what your mom might say, there is such a thing as too much work. Maybe some R&R over in the lounge would help recharge those solar cells. What do you say? I'm fine, thanks. Your dad smiles patronizingly. Uh-huh. I know what that kind of stress looks like, he says. You and your mom are the same. Never admit you're having a hard time. He pats you on the shoulder. I just worry about you, kiddo. Take care of yourself. I think we definitely do take after mom more than dad, which I hope he doesn't feel slighted by. So do we want to go back to school? Like, are we approaching an important threshold? We probably should have at least 10 biology. Yeah, let's do life sciences one more time, and then we can maybe head off in a different direction. Maybe start raising our red stats again. But the thresholds mostly seem to be in 5s, so. You each pick a native Vertumnan keystone species and prepare an hour-long presentation to the class. You pick the float cow. Cal is excited. He was going to choose the float cow too. You end up working together on a slightly longer presentation, which gives Cal time to describe in gory detail all of the float cow births he's attended. The class is fascinated. Yeah, that sounds like that would work. Okay, so... I mean, we want to run this like that, right? Get ourselves a nice big 4 of a kind. Yeah, see, so like here, this is part of a flush and part of a set of 1s, so it doesn't count as part of the what do you call it, the straight, even though it is a 2-card straight. Not that it matters, but all right, and that's a 3-star. We did it. You don't really get much currency. I guess it doesn't matter a huge amount if you miss it. You're having a terrifying, familiar dream. A monster crashing through the walls, unfathomably large, every part of it wriggling and moving and searching for something. It tramples through the colony as you watch it helplessly. Time shifts to the wreckage of your home. You're picking through it, looking for something. Tears streaking down your dust-covered face as you lift heavy pieces of debris, searching. You wake up shouting no, but your voice is drowned out by a deafening rumble from the skies outside. The bedroom window is covered in water? Oh, it's pouring down from the clouds. You guess this must be rain, but you've never experienced it before. There's a bright flash from outside, then another crack and rumble. Thunder! It must be a thunderstorm! It's still the early hours of the morning. You've already almost forgotten your bad dream, but you're too unsettled to go back to sleep yet. The rain beats down on the roof of your quarters, joined now and then with great peals of thunder, like the footsteps of an angry beast. Oh, absolutely we run outside and play in the rain, right? No question. Little rebelliousness, a little bit of de-stress. Let's just go one more month without resting. It's surprisingly warm outside, and the water feels nice hitting your head. Everything smells fresh and damp and wonderful, and the dusty, packed ground has turned to squelchy mud between your toes. You don't go too far from the door to your quarters, but it's exciting being outside in the dark, watching dramatic streaks of lightning arc down to the hills behind the colony. Early wet. Sorry, mid-wet. Obviously, we are mid-wet. Internet slang just keeps getting weirder and more complicated. Okay, nobody else has anything particularly pressing to do. So what was it that we get from delivering packages again? Organizing perception. So I would like to push our perception some. We'd have to get a lot more toughness to be able to get that next toughness card. I mean, I want to get some animal points, but it doesn't seem like... We saw the option to work with Dad one time, right? Oh, wait. That's an object I can pick up and give to Dis. Okay. So you need animals 20 greater to even start lassoing a float cow. But that's not a weekly job thing. That's a one-time gain a card thing. Hey, Dis. Guess what, buddy? Buddy, friend, pal. Do you want a log? He does, kind of. He loves the way I'm always giving him logs. So... Has anything about this changed? We can gain some bravery and some toughness. I mean, I do think bravery is useful as well. Bravery is going to be necessary for the kind of adventure we want to go on. Let's take some bravery. You're paired with Nougat in practice. You make the mistake of underestimating her and she wipes the pitch with you. Well, these things happen. Okay, so... Yeah, just push it. We're already maxing out anyway, right? 12 out of 14. Rough. So there was a win that didn't require us to push, but also, you know, pushing didn't actually do anything. We were at 100 stress no matter what. What's up, Anemone? So then I trapped it in my room, Anemone says, telling you all about the bug she saw in her quarters. Its wings were as big as my hand, and it had feelers, like, whoa. And it was bouncing all over the place, like boing, boing, boing. She gestures excitedly, swinging her arms over her head. The bugs here are so big, and they are everywhere. I was going to give it to Tange, she says. She loves gross bug stuff. But she said I should just let it go, because if it stung me, I might get weird mutant powers. I mean, other than the one I already have. And I wanted to see if I got more weird mutant powers, so I started jumping around off higher and higher things until I was jumping off the back of the ship, and I got in so much trouble, but it wasn't even that high. She stops in her tracks. Hold on, she says, stooping to rub irritably at her knees for probably the 100th time in the past 5 minutes. I'm gonna die. I busted up my knees and it's so itchy when my scales grow in. Annie, don't pick at it. Chief Steward Antecedent's voice rings out across the garrison yard, pleasant but firm. It instantly transports you back to being in the ship crash, tugging on her skirts and calling her Auntie. Anemone jumps and stands up straight, her hands flying to her sides. But Mom, Anemone whines, digging her fingers into her knees as Antecedent approaches you both. It's so scratch-tastically itchy. I know, lovely. Antecedent soothes her, patting down her riotous red hair. But the more you pick at it, the thicker your scales are going to grow in. Anemone tucks her hands under her armpits to keep from scratching. Well, what if I want to have cool scales? She pouts. Antecedent smiles indulgently. At the rate you're going, I'm sure you'll be covered in them before you know it. No need to rush. Anemone's skin is dotted with patches of protective blue-green scales that grow in wherever she gets a cut or scrape. She rubs the patch on her jaw indignantly, the one she got when she ran headfirst into the food synthesizer back on the ship. Okay, interesting. So I guess we don't naturally know everybody's augment. And we can learn their birthday and yeah, okay. I see. Antecedent opens her satchel and pulls out a bundle of clothes. The queue for the nanoprinter is over a week long, so I patched your pants with scraps from your brother's clothing. Please try not to put any more holes in them. Or yourself, okay? She hands the clothes to Anemone and kisses her on her forehead. Anemone sticks out her tongue and gags. Yuck. Anemone evaluates the clothes as her mom walks away. Galactic, she breathes, as she runs her hands over the odd-colored patches. Then, right there in the middle of the yard, she unashamedly squirms out of her pants and pulls on the new ones. "Wow, I look like a fighter jet from the Hollows," she exclaims, showing off her new pants. "Like when they'd stencil your kill count on your plane." She'll like it if I say "or like a really cool scar," but I am worried that it will drive her to scratch at her scars more. I'm gonna say it. Or like a really cool scar. I'm a little, the emotional stuff is contagious. "Yeah, you get it. My pants are scarred, just like me." She's adorable. I like her very much. "Yeah, I know I need some time off. I'm just seeing if there's anybody else who needs to talk. Looks like we're good. Guess let's go ahead and take a break. Let's relax in the lounge." You organize a raid on the kitchen pantry for snacks. They want to be free. You must liberate them. All right, do I want to forget a red or a yellow? Again, at least this time we're cutting off the end of a straight. I think it probably is okay to drop a yellow 0. Because we only have one yellow 1, it's only useful in the sense of playing out a straight when we are, when we have a very specific draw. And I would much rather see like Sports Ball or Eagle Eyes or Tangents Focus. Let's go ahead and forget that. Oh, I'm allowed to drop both of them. Oh, that's interesting. Do I want to drop the red one as well? The red 0? I think I probably do. Yeah, 0's gotta... Having 0s in our deck is bad. I know, like, completing runs and sets is good, but having 0s in our deck is broadly bad. Oh, no, okay, it is only just one. Well, it's the yellow for sure over the red. The days have been getting shorter, with only the yellow sun barely skimming the horizon. One morning, you wake in the darkness and have to check your holopalm to know what time it is. You see a holostream from Mars. "Good morning to all my pals, if you can even call it morning. They've named it glow season because, like, everything is crazy glowing out there in the dark. I'm staying the heck inside for the next month. What's the point in even going out if you can't see anything? It's going to be a long, boring month." I do think it looks pretty cool out there. If I say that, I think Mars is going to get mad at me again. Mars already doesn't really like me. But I think our kid's excitement is probably getting the best of her. When you are clear-minded and your stress is low, you get a chance of bonus skill points. That's cool. You peek out the window. The wormhole is the biggest you've ever seen it, like a massive fiery ring in the sky. The planet must be very close to it now. And out in the jungle, something new is taking place. The plants are flowering, glowing iridescent blooms, and everything is full of life. There are strange new sounds, long hooting calls and gurgling roars. After Mars's message is a notice from the council, warning everyone to stay safe inside. Tammy's dad and the other surveyors have been called back, and the gates closed for the month. There's a tension in the air, as if everyone is waiting for something. Hey, adults, maybe let me know what's going on. Alright, so we've entered the Glow Month. Are the rules very different in Glow Month? Samhain, your mom stops you as you walk by. "What are you doing out of our quarters? It isn't safe out here." "Well, I was gonna go to school." She nods with grudging approval. Come on, I just lied to my mom. Is that loyalty, really? "Fair enough," she replies. "You stay close to the stratospheric, got it? We don't know what's out there this time of year." As you walk away and are just out of earshot, you hear her mumble, "Stars. It is beautiful, though." Okay, I mean, obviously I'm going to walk wherever the hell I want. We got walls. It's fine. We'll be fine because of the walls. Anemone blinks at you in the dark. "It's so creeptacular," she breathes. "It's perfect for hide and seek. But we can't actually play." Most kids probably are inside. Hey, Dis, what you doing? Dis is staring off into the wilderness outside the gates. Feels different, he mumbles. Don't know how, just different. You ask him what he means, but he just shakes his head and stuffs his hands in his pockets. So to do Dis's thing, I need bravery 20 or more, but it really does not feel like this would increase our friendship. I don't know. Maybe. Oh. A glittering crystal cluster. You want this? He does not want it like all that much, but listen, we're making headway. Well, is there sports ball during Glow Month? There is. Do we want to push bravery to like... I mean, we could try to work bravery up till we can take that option with Dis. It's giving me some toughness as well. We're at 24. 25 feels like it might be a meaningful threshold, right? I mean, they've made a notch in the bar for it. Let's go ahead and play sports ball. Training in the dark is really hard. You lose a lot of sports balls under the bleachers and in dark corners this month. You submit a request to engineering to make some sort of glow-in-the-dark paint so it's easier to spot the ball, but it gets rejected for not being a priority concern. Hey, I can see in the dark. Shouldn't that should mean something. Okay. So this feels pretty strong. So when it's here's the thing I'm not clear on. Whether or not it gives us the a visual indication that we have maxed the hand. I'll keep an eye out. I don't know if it always does that like yellow swirly effect behind the number when you're successful. It might. It's daytime when the emergency sirens start up. Well, what passes for day. It's still nearly pitch black, except for an eerie green twilight glow on the horizon. You look toward the gates. They're open. Wait, they shouldn't be open. The alert blares out of every speaker in the colony. It's the same one you used for hull breaches and fires, and in space it meant you were supposed to go to the nearest emergency shaft and put on a spacesuit. On Vertumna, it means go to an assembly point and wait for instructions. The closest assembly point is the children's crash, but from the opposite direction you hear shouting and loud popping noises. Gunfire. Is the colony under attack? I mean, I know what my rules are, but also if the colony's under attack, what a 10-year-old should do is go hide in the crash. What the 10-year-old's going to do is try to go help fight. You'll try your best to be brave and fight back. First, you dodge some helpful grown-ups who point you back to the creche. Then you head outside to get your bearings. So 20 stress, the cards, some rebelliousness, and the status heroic. Wow, okay, jeez. You can hear yelling from up the stairs to command, and a commotion to the southeast at Geoponics where your parents are working. Well, I mean, we go toward the commotion, right? Your parents are defending the greenhouses from a pack of knee-high creatures which seem to have eyes growing all over their bodies. Their oily flesh ripples with a constant, subtle motion as the individual eyes blink one at a time incessantly. You can't tell which end is which with these horrible things. Cal is standing nearby. Wide-eyed, he slowly picks up a shovel and moves beside you. He reluctantly holds the shovel in front of himself like a weapon. Easy doggies, he whispers. We don't want to hurt you. Get out of here, both of you! Run, your mom shouts, attracting the pack's attention. All except one animal, which moves straight toward you and Cal. So in theory, I could figure out what it wants. We could just attack it. But, you know, if they're not actually here to fight us, attacking it could make things worse. Right? This feels like the animals. I know, like we're all hopped up on adrenaline and everything, but this feels like the person who cares about animals option to take. Let's try to figure it out. You look into its too many eyes and see fear. This creature is scared of you. To Cal's amazement, you crouch down to try to look less threatening and choose 2 eyes at random to look into, to communicate with. You start to reach out a hand, but the creature is trembling. Staring into its eyes has made it even more frightened than before, and it pounces. Well, I did the right thing. So it definitely feels like we just want to go big numbers right now. I probably want to save the yellows. I'm going to do this. This is not an amazing hand. We should put the reds next to each other, obviously. But yeah, this way we're saving into potentially a yellow. Well, we don't have a yellow straight. We could draw pink candy and at least get a 3-card flush. Yeah. Oh, the other thing we could do. Oh, yeah, you know what? Actually, what I should probably do is just this. Right? Let's just take the 3-card straight and the yellow flush because we're so unlikely to draw yellow again. And then we'll figure stuff out with these later. Yeah, way better play. Okay, so we just don't play the 5, probably. Okay, we don't get the points for that. That being the case, then do I maybe want to just throw in the 5 just to make score? They both play just fine in a flush, but there's no way the 5 can contribute to a straight. Oh, right, but if we don't do that, yeah, shoot. Well, this isn't contributing anything here anyway. I kind of wish I could just... Am I allowed to just next round without playing another card? Yeah, because playing the 0 doesn't actually help very much here. But if I play this, like, I'm not getting maximum value out of Tangent's Focus, but I am still getting 15 points toward the challenge. I'm being silly. Of course I should do this. And then, like, from here we crush, right? Is there... What if I... Hold on. Well, I'm necessarily building a group of 1s in the middle, so it's not really going to be possible to do a straight here. I mean, whatever. This is extremely good enough, right? Let's just go ahead and win. All right. +2 combat. So I wouldn't have gotten any stat gain at all there, but I got 1 from the Eagle Eyes, and because of that, we were able to get 1 from our heroic status. That was pretty good. You killed it, with nothing but a rake thrust deep into several of the creature's many eyes. The rest of the pack scampers off the moment it falls. For the record, I tried to do the other thing. Apparently, people are mostly pretty happy that I did that. You've never killed anything before. The body of the creature that was so terrifying a minute ago now looks strangely small and harmless. All of its eyes have closed for good now. Cal crouches beside it in shock. I told you to run, Samhain. Uh-oh. Your mom looks furious that you put yourself in danger. She storms over and you think she's going to slap you. Then suddenly she pulls you into her arms and hugs you. She keeps rocking you and saying, my baby, over and over. It's pretty surreal. Almost as weird as the dog things with the eyes, honestly. After 2 weeks of darkness with the blue sun barely skimming the horizon, it begins to move higher in the sky, and daytime returns. The council admits they don't know how the gates were opened, or how the creatures got in. Some of the attacking creatures were once thought to be docile. Others were species nobody'd even seen before. It was like something had driven them to assault the colony. At least nobody was killed this time. Yeah, that's concerning for sure. Oh, childhood is fleeting. The game will end when you reach age 20, so you should focus on a few skills to improve and friends to spend time with. Use the Skills and Friends button at the top left of the screen to keep track with them. Good luck. So, okay, this is just giving us a readout of our year. We gained quite a bit of friendship with Cal and some with some other people. I definitely want to try to get Tangent up as high as we can. I know that like Tangent, I think Tangent's an interesting friend for us because of the contrast. I'm hoping that we can continue making that work. Let's start age 11. Hey, Tangent. Tangent is standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes land on her cheeks. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute, she winces and rubs her eyes. It stings, she says, because it's made of acid. Acid snow? Tange nods. Professor Hal says it isn't harmful and is an important part of the natural cycle here. It freezes at 12 degrees Celsius and turns into tiny crystals that are so heavy they fall from the clouds. You can see them under a microscope. She sticks her tongue out and lets some of the flakes fall on it. It tastes kind of sour, but sweet, she observes. Fascinating. Tange pulls a sample jar out of her coat. We know what it's made of, but our understanding is incomplete, she says, and places the jar on an outcropping of rocks. The big mushrooms changed in shape and color before the snow began to fall. I wonder, is there some sort of signal that precedes the changing of the seasons? What happens if I expose samples collected in dust season to snow from quiet season? A small, excited smile creeps across Tange's face. There's so much to learn about this planet. I can't wait. She seems a little intense. I think she's probably, in person, she probably gets a little intense here and there. Oh, that's a collectible thing. Medicinal roots. Cal is scrubbing his hands at the water barrel, trying unsuccessfully to get all the dirt out from under his fingernails. It looks like a lost cause. Cal's hands have been dirt-stained, probably since he landed here. Ugh, stupid... Cal mutters. Stupid... Ugh! He jerks his hands out of the water and holds them to his face, and you hear him sob, Why did they have to? It's not fair. We didn't do anything to them. He wipes his eyes and startles when he sees you. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just, washing my hands. Buddy. Hey, Dis. You don't see Dis at first, but you do hear rustling, followed by the screech of metal on metal. After a few minutes of looking, you spot Dis placing large rocks in front of a piece of corrugated metal, leaning against the wall. He stops and looks at you. You didn't see anything, he says, going back to cover up his tracks. Sure. You want some medicinal roots, buddy? Wow. Dis is uncharacteristically excited about the roots. They're so colorful. I've never seen roots like these before. What kind of plant are those from? Okay, Dis likes medicinal roots, but only a point more than any other thing. But also he likes, sort of like plant life in general and also colorful stuff. Maybe that'll be useful. We could buff bravery again, and I certainly want to try to boost physical skills while we're still feeling heroic. I wonder if anything's changed now that we're 11. Let's check all the job sites. View the notice board. Security rating, pretty bad. Okay, so we could deliver supplies. We would probably get 2 points of perception from doing that because of our toughness gain. Yeah. So 2 organizing, 2 perception. It's not a terrible idea. Okay, I still don't know enough to do anything other than shovel dirt. It looks like we probably don't have any new options that have unlocked just because of our age. It's weird how finicky the tooltips are, though. It's really hard to get them to appear consistently. Yep, that hasn't changed. I mean, the bravery gain is definitely something. It seems like something. And making friends with Anemone is cool. kind of want some perception gain, though. Let's go do this. A little organizing's not going to hurt us either. Seek sends you all around the colony delivering supplies. During your first week, it's mostly small things you can carry by hand or push on a little cart. Stuff like tools and electronics. Some are high priority, which means you have to move fast. It's fun getting to yell important delivery coming through and people actually get out of the way. Okay, that's cool. Job de-stresses us a little bit. As you get older, challenges can have conditions. The challenge suit determines what conditions will appear and which decks will work best. Try to collect yellow cards if you want to win battles for social skills. Yeah. Okay. One slot will turn cards blue. But does that mean like permanently or just for the duration of this challenge? I have no idea. I mean, let's put some blue cards together, I suppose. We're not quite going to get there. But we can take 15 stress without breaking ourselves. I'm assuming this is just for the duration of the challenge. Alright. Pretty good. So that got us to 13 by itself. So much has happened in the last month since the monster attack during Glow. The idea of this planet as a peaceful utopia has been shattered. The security squads are training new members and keeping close watch on the gates now. They're reinforcing the walls and even installing a few robotic turrets. In class, you have drills on what to do if the colony is attacked again. In all the excitement, you forgot today was your birthday. But your parents haven't forgotten. They wake you up early with enthusiastic shouts of surprise. A Vertumdan year is only a little longer than a year on Earth, so you've taken up its calendar for birthdays. Yours is in the second month of quiet. Spark snow drifts slowly past your porthole window as you snuggle with your dad. Your mom climbs up too and sits on the edge of your bed. Your dad pulls a bowl of fruit from behind his back with a flourish, like a magic trick. At least, you think it's fruit? What are those? Bobber fruit, your dad grins. The foragers have been picking these just outside the walls. They might look funny, but they're tasty. Try one. Okay. +1 to a card's value and make it blue. Somebody's getting this as a gift. You take a cautious bite. The pulp is soft and tastes a bit like a lemon, only more blue. Oh, I bet you can't wait to join the surveyors out there, your dad says wistfully. Who knows what else you'll find? Samhain is not allowed outside the gates, your mom interrupts, her voice sharp. It's too dangerous for kids. Well, I know, but eventually, your dad says, but your mom cuts him off again. But not now, your mom replies. Not since the attack. Not with everything we know is out there now. I helped. I was a hero. I want everybody to notice this. Don't even start, your mom snaps. You should have been in the creche with the others, not putting yourself in danger for no reason. You don't get it. You know your mom wasn't a farmer back on Earth. She was a fighter too. She's such a hypocrite. Even still, your mom says, it is clear that everyone should know how to defend themselves if it happens again. To be clear, this includes knowing when to run away, your dad adds. Security Chief Rhett's offering self-defense lessons at the garrison, you know, even for kids. If you're interested, you should drop in sometime. Your mom gives you a stern look. And I've heard stories of kids sneaking outside the walls, she says grimly. If I catch you doing that, I'm going to put a chip in your ear. You laugh. What a good joke. Your mom doesn't laugh. Look, I might do what I want, but I'm smart enough not to say I'll do what I want. Do I try to play down the danger, or do I just pretend that I'm not going to do it when I'm definitely going to do it? I'm going to say, what, me? Never. I get the tone. I'm absolutely going to do it. Yeah, you better never, your mom retorts, crossing her arms. I think it's so weird that we gain loyalty. for lying. Like, claiming intent is the same as having intent from this game's perspective, and that's weird. Well, we are at exactly 100 stress. I thought I was going to end up just short, but I guess I miscalculated somewhere. I miscalibrated the tiniest bit. Oh, we should look around for things to grab in case there are things to grab. Or people to talk to. It looks like nobody has anything new. Out of curiosity, what does the defense training do? Is it just combat skill? Well, no, I know I'm too stressed out, but give a girl a tooltip here. Right, game's not interested in helping me out. I guess let's relax through our last month of heroism. It's nice to take some time off to chill after all the stress of school and work, not to mention the mental toll of just living on this unpredictable planet. And it looks like you're not the only one who needs some downtime. Some of the other kids are also relaxing in the lounge. If I sit alone with my hollow palm, I'll get a blue 3. That's certainly not a bad card. Without a blue 2, I mean, if I'm trying to tilt my deck away from yellow cards generally, which I don't know if that's really a good idea, but if that is the thing I was doing, we certainly would benefit from picking up a blue 3. And just like picking up cards that have higher base values in general is good. But I kind of want to approach Mars and Dis. I want to see what's going on with Dis. I'm still trying really hard to crack the nut of friendship with this kid. Okay, but you do stink, you hear Mars defend herself. It's not my fault that you can't tell. Maybe your nose stopped working, but the rest of us can smell it. And she waves her hands in front of her nose and makes a PU gesture, then turns to you. He smells awful, right, Samhain? Well, I could be a bully. Being a bully is a yellow skill. I am, of course, not going to do that. Am I just going to yell at her? Like, what is the way that we defend him? Obviously, we're not doing either of the top two. I guess, if I did a sniff test and then was like, no, he smells fine, would he like that? Would that be helpful? That still feels kind of like playing into the game. It still feels shitty to me. I'm gonna tell her to stop being mean. You stand toe-to-toe with Mars. She glares at you, then at Dis. Ugh, fine, she says, defeated. I'm sorry, Dis. I'm just trying to help, but I should have said it in a nicer way. Not everyone in life is going to tell you the truth, you know. That's not much of an apology. I probably do want to forget a 0, yeah. Do we forget Wondering? We can't really build sets, or we can't really build runs in blue anyway, so I think we probably do forget Wondering. Alright, mid-quiet. Where's my friendship level with Dis? Okay, we crossed 10. 10's an important threshold. I wonder if we will get some kind of dialogue out of it. Perhaps we have. Dis is sitting in the grass near the big gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring out into nothingness and picking absent-mindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach. Do I want to just... I think I want to just sit down with him. Do you want to play a game? I don't know that he seems much like the type... Especially coming from me, he's probably going to assume I mean like a physical game, and he doesn't really seem like his deal. I'm just going to sit down with him. He shifts uncomfortably as you sit, but doesn't say anything. You both just hang out, saying and doing nothing. You stare out the big gates. The grass in the colony is trimmed short by garden bots, but out there it's wild and as high as your waist. Head Surveyor Tonin is prepping his equipment for an outing. He's bringing a lot. Maybe he's going to stay out overnight. You're starting to wonder if Dis will ever acknowledge you when he says, I've got to go. As he starts down the hill, he pauses and says, this is a good spot. I'll probably come back here tomorrow. Okay. Tange, I am going to get through to your brother. It's going to happen. Okay, and it looks like our heroic skill did not get wasted, because it should have been... Well, I guess maybe it was going to last all the way through the quiet season either way. Okay, so I do still want to gain perception. I think I'm going to do that one more time as long as we still have the heroic buff. Let's deliver some supplies. It's been a while, but it's time to attend a meeting of the Secret Fun Times Club. Mars started the SFC years ago when you were little kids. Tangent and Tammy agreed to join at the time, but then you all got busy with other things and forgot about it. And then Tammy died. You meet in an unused conference room in Command, which Mars says is perfect for a secret club. Club President Mars brings the meeting to order. Tange, Vice President of Writing Down Secrets, a great thing to do with secrets, records the meeting notes on her holopalm. As a Vice President of Fun Ideas, it was your job to come up with something for the club to do today. You chose making friendship bracelets and brought all the supplies you'll need. Today, Mars announces, we're going to make friendship bracelets. And I have an even better idea. We're going to sell them to people for kudos. That isn't really how kudos are supposed to be used, but Mars is hard to argue with sometimes. The three of you spend the afternoon braiding bracelets out of recycled bits of wire and bright plastic packing straps. Your hearts aren't really in it, though. All three of you know that Tammy would have been much better at this than you. Making friendship bracelets was one of her favorite things. She was always giving them to people and didn't expect anything in return. Oof. It's eventually Mars who calls the meeting early. She takes all your misshapen bracelets and looks at them dubiously. I don't know if people will want to trade their kudos for these, but I'll do my best. I'll put the kudos in the club treasury. Meeting adjourned. You ask Tangent if she thinks Mars is actually going to sell them. I think so, Tange tells you. But the club doesn't even have a treasury. She'll probably just keep the kudos for herself. She doesn't seem to care. Honestly, I don't either. Let's deliver some supplies. Okay, that card is locked in that position, which actually is not good. That's actually pretty bad. Because we could at least have set up a mid straight, right? Like, as it is, this is a nightmare. I'm going to push through. I'm not interested in failing. I guess I forgot about the bobber fruit. I didn't give the bobber fruit to anyone. I think I'm still going to give it to Dis. We could throw it down on the Eagle Eyes here, but it's not really going to change anything. Yeah, it's certainly not going to get the job done. I'm just going to push through because I love stress. And points of perception, very much. Okay, late quiet. Let's go talk to Dis, because I'm going to give him some fruit that I found. Oh, or a log. You know, whatever. What's up, Dad? You meet your dad adjusting a watering pot in your mom's flower garden. He's having a sneezing fit, his eyes runny and red. You're alarmed. You've never seen him look sick before. People were hardly ever ill on the stratospheric, except sometimes when the zero-G ribs made them queasy. Not to worry, my little beanstalk, he says nasally. I'll be fine. It's just this pollen making my head a little stuffy. He wipes his nose with a handkerchief and looks around. Everywhere you turn, the air is soupy and tinged with pink from all the floating pollen. On Earth, your dad tells you, we used to call this hay fever. Even though it had nothing to do with hay, your mom cuts in, carrying a large bouquet of flowers. The native flowers seem to be in full bloom this time of year. She buries her nose deep in them, and they smell fantastic. Your dad smiles kindly and agrees they sure are beautiful. Then he blows his nose loudly. We're not scared. And anyway, we deal with being scared by thrusting ourselves at the thing that scares us, so sniff the flowers tentatively. They do smell good, and they look harmless. Your dad's eyes look so sad, but maybe that's just the allergies? Hey, Samhain, I know the last few weeks have been very hard for you. This might be a good time to relax and stick around in the quarters wing. What a curious thing to say all of a sudden. Hey, Dis. You don't see Dis at first. Ah, yes, the rusting screech of metal on metal. Do you want some... I'm going to give him the bobber fruit. You want some bobber fruit? Okay, 1 point. Sure. Slowly, bit by bit, we will build up our friendship. There's not a place that I can work to get friendship with him, so, like, it's actually very difficult to raise that number. So, okay, we're no longer getting hero bonus. We're at 16 perception. What else do I want to work on? Our toughness feels like it must be high enough for whatever might come next. I guess we could still use more points of bravery. And more points of bravery does let us do an interaction with this. Although it seems like it might be bullying. It's hard to... Let's do a sports ball. We'll get bravery over 10 at least. You run into Cal and Anemone on the hill behind the garrison at a small construction site. They seem to be throwing logs. There are a bunch of them laying at the bottom of the hill. It's a caber toss, Anemone shouts to you, then grunts with the effort of lifting a 6-meter-long mush tree pole. She throws it like a javelin down the hill and sprints after it. My best record, she shouts, and ties a piece of caution tape to the end of the pole. Your turn next, Cal says, pointing to a neatly stacked pile of construction poles beside you. From the looks of the nearby construction, they're probably destined to be a new lookout tower someday. Yeah, I mean someday. Obviously, I'm going to throw the biggest one I can find. Challenge mode. Wee-oo. Cal makes a noise like a siren, because that's the thing he thought was okay to do. He shouts down to Anemone. Samhain's going to throw a big one, so you better get out of the landing zone. The pole isn't actually that heavy, but its length does make it hard to balance. You struggle to get underneath it with your knees bent. This is going to be tough. I am pretty good at red stuff, though. Okay, let's just take the trio, I guess. And we played the eagle eyes here, and hopefully it'll still count if we, 58 feels unlikely. Well, I will cheat if I have to. So that gets us 3, and then, like, do I just not play another card? Feels like a pretty bad play. But I guess the odds of us drawing anything other than red cards is, like... Maybe I want to get rid of this because we're so likely to just draw red cards. Plus, it does throw another point into the thing. We need to generate 40 points on this next hand, though. That simply is not occurring. And I'm sure it won't read the straight in the other direction. Am I sure of that? Yes, it totally will not. It would be nice if it would, but okay. Fine. Okay. So, card becomes red. I mean, does Tangent's Focus maintain its 3 if it's tied for highest? No, it must be uniquely the highest. Well, I mean, that's not a good reason not to play the 3. And the 3 gets us the extra 1 anyway for the 2 of a kind. So, like, if we just play the hand out like this, we get a decent value off of it. What if how good is 5 of a kind on numbers? It is actually slightly better. The 10 is really nice. Can't push through on that though. We could spend our mushwood log, but so 14 to 22 is a difference of 50 stress. So it doesn't scale super smoothly. And the thing is, we need to get the amount of push through stress down to 65. There's no way 2 additional points is going to do that. I'm afraid I'm going to have to give up. I may have overcommitted on this challenge a little bit. But I did find the best score on that last round at least. You fumble your throw, and the pole only makes it halfway down the hill, rolling a little before it comes to a stop with the others. Bonus points for rolling, Cal announces, and Anemone finds another piece of caution tape to mark your pole. You play for the rest of the afternoon, adding rules and variations as you go. You don't stop until the entire stack of poles are in a jumble at the bottom of the hill, decorated festively with caution tape. It's a wonder you got away with this. Oh, we haven't gotten away with it yet. Okay, I count as defeated on my... That was my work challenge. I thought that was something in addition. But we still got the bravery and everything. Yeah, having moved all of the construction materials down the hill, that's going to come back to us, I'm sure. Well, you know what we're going to do. Oh, wait, I'm not going to be able to give him a thing right away. Too soon. Dis wipes his eyes and hides his face as you approach. Go away, he sniffles. I just want to be left alone. Why won't people just leave me alone? I don't want to be a part of this stupid colony. Okay, kid, I don't know that you have a choice. You can't really go, and there's nowhere else to go. How you doing, Dad? Okay, nothing new. He's just having a time with the pollen. So wait, when was the thing supposed to be set up? Please wear masks when out of doors. Ambient particulate may trigger runny nose, watery eyes, and mild cough. And of course, during the second month of dust, there will be a vertimnalia. Well, my organizing skill is... it's getting close to a meaningful threshold, potentially. We don't really know that, though. And I do want to, like, focus in some areas. Bravery seems just generally very useful. I really don't feel like I need more toughness, though, is my only concern. Hey, Tange, we have 21 friendship. How are you gonna hit me with thick-skulled cretin? Come on now. How is my reasoning doing? My reasoning's actually not that far off of being able to do the event with her. Is my engineering at 11? We have like a sort of a basic competence. We get reasoning for boosting biology as well. It would take a while to get up to there, though. I think I'm just going to push bravery. Let's continue pushing bravery for a little while. Mars may not be as skilled a sports ball player as Anemone, but she plays hard. She orders people around like a team captain, but she isn't so great at passing the ball. She'd rather be the star. That was the vibe I was getting. Her favorite thing is to spike the ball right into the opposing netstop's body. It's not a legal move, but she's done it so many times that the opposition now stands further back when Mars has the ball, which is exactly what she wants. Did you see that? Anemone complains to you during a break. Mars wouldn't pass the ball to either of us for 10 whole minutes. Somebody has got to do something. Well, I don't have any persuasion skill at all. It's not really how I do things. I could... She's going to get really frustrated if we don't pass the ball to her. I feel like there's probably not actually a lot of harm in just let Mars be Mars. I mean, Anemone might not like that I did not listen to her when she asked me to do something about the situation, but... No, let's just let Mars be Mars. You keep passing Mars the ball, and she keeps trying to spike it from the net in huge, wide shots that often miss. She gets another penalty for holding the ball too long when an enemy is clearly open. Well, at least Mars is getting better at those long shots, and she seems happy. One slot gets a +1. Okay. So... it doesn't really matter where I build. But the +1 is potentially going to screw up my my straight, right? So if we do this, it'll read as a straight, and then that's a 2 of a kind, and then here's just 5 more points. And that's good enough. And around here, good enough's good enough. We did have the yellow glow in background, and we did get the best possible score. You're finishing breakfast in the common area when Marzipan struts in. Look at you eating cereal, she says, turning her nose up at you. I'll bet you don't even know what day today is. Just completely not even aware that she's trying to signal something to me. Just like, you're right, I don't know. Today, she announces to the room, is St. Valentine's Day. Dis and Cal wander over to hear more. Also, I just realized we're 70 minutes into this episode. This game is compelling. Back on Earth, Mars explains, it was a day when everybody had to give their best friend a gift, especially sweets. And then you put the sweets under your pillow, and it makes you dream about who you're going to marry. And there are decorations of hearts and arrows, and pigs. That's close. She's close. Cal laughs. Pigs? We don't even have pigs here. Before Mars can answer, Dis snorts. This is dumb. Marzipan just made it up to get free candy. He rolls his eyes and walks away. As he leaves, Mars shouts at his back, well, nobody was going to pick you anyway. You stink. I think it's dumb too. If I say I think it's dumb too, Mars will be mad at me. Dis might like that though. Also, I don't want to give Mars sweets. I want my sweets. I'm gonna I'm trying to figure out what I think our kid would do. I honestly don't have any idea. I think that there are reasonable arguments to be made for like behavioral motivations for participating with this and not participating in it. You know what? I think it's dumb too. Mars rolls her eyes. Then go cry under a tree with that smelly nullhead Dis. The rest of us will have friends and candy. Just like that Marcy's Playground song. I have to imagine that's a piece of culture that made it onto the stratospheric. You find Dis watching the jungle through a gap in the fence, kicking the dirt with his shoe. He's quiet when you walk up. Must be in one of his moods. Well, I do know that he loves to just sit and watch through the gate, and we have the empathy to do this thing. I'm going to watch with him. You sit and watch the jungle with him for a while. You ask if he's ever been on the other side of the fence. Dis nods quietly. A few times, yeah. There's a way through behind the garrison building. You both sit in silence for a long while, until he breaks it by saying, It's really nice out there. Do you want to be best friends to annoy Mars? You explain that, of course, you aren't taking it seriously. You just think it would be funny. He looks at you and shrugs. Sure, I guess, he says, then looks back out at the forest. It is kind of funny. That's a stupid thing, anyway. But he seems kind of into it. Also, now we know how to sneak out. And that is worth all of the friendship in the world. Mars is going to be mad at me. Mars is in a huff. Ah, because you didn't pick her for Valentine's Day? Oh, it seems like nobody picked her. She crosses her arms and scowls at you. I can't believe you chose Dis over me? Whatever, Mars mutters, tossing her hair. I'm just too mature for kids my age. The older kids get me, even if you don't. I do feel bad about that. That's not a great outcome. She was being a jerk, though. You've seen Dis use this drain pipe behind the garrison to sneak through the walls. There's a metal grate that comes off so you can crawl through. Do you want to go out there? Bravery and perception are definitely things I'm interested in gaining. Yeah, this seems like it could be incredibly dangerous. But yeah, let's do it. This will be our last month for the episode. Events in this area can be done in any order. They won't cause time to pass, but they will increase your stress. Return home via the Expedition's depot flag or the home button at the top left of the screen. Watch for collectible items you can bring back as gifts. Events respawn at the beginning of each year, and new collectibles have a chance to appear every season. Okay. You slip through the drain pipe and out of the colony before anyone saw you. Anyone, that is, except for a dark form watching you from the trees nearby. Could that be... Is that Dis? He turns and disappears into the jungle. And now you're sure of it. That was definitely Dis. And he's not allowed outside the colony either. I'm not going to shout his name. We're going to follow him. You scamper after him through the brush, heedless of branches and brambles scraping at your arms and legs. Without a proper envirosuit, you get all scratched up. Oof, this kid is fast. You quickly lose sight of Dis and can't find his trail again, but you do learn something by trying. Okay, a little bit of perception. Critter. This is just a thing. Okay, let's see what this is. You leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to one of the little sawmills dotting this area. It's a small but busy operation, 3 people feeding mush tree logs into some kind of machine, while the 4th one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front. Leave in disgust. I hate plasma saws. No, stay and watch what they're doing. That card's rad. Also, I'm interested, but the card's rad. You stay out of sight and watch how they do it. When one tree crashes down, it almost seems like the others are wincing? That's probably just your imagination, though. They aren't planting new ones or leaving any behind. You know the mush trees regrow every year, but can they still regrow when you cut down everything like this? Even the smaller trees and bushes are getting ground up for mulch, with a scary big grinder that sounds like a roaring beast. The entire process makes you uneasy, but also proud of how industrious your colony is. I mean, sort of. Alright, we gotta interact with the animal, because I might actually get points of animals for doing this. Your way is blocked by a strange small creature with 1 foot and 4 large eyes, 2 of which blink sideways on top of its head like frog eyes. Oh, this must be a hop-eye. You've heard people talk about them, but you've never seen one up close. It keeps thumping its foot on the ground really loud. What is its deal? Alright, we're going to try this animal challenge. 29. 29's not undoable. So we probably just take the 3 of a kind, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a little awkward. I think this is okay. Alright, and then we have something interesting here. So if we go... How do I want to do this? I probably want to keep the sports ball because we're likely to draw red. I mean, is it basically just this and then also put up a 2 because we have a 2? That gets us down to only 7 needed for the next round, so that's pretty likely. And we did not draw very red. What we did draw is a whole lot of 1s. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm being silly. Ooh, super goal. Oh, there are hidden higher goals. Well, +1, an extra +1 to animals for us. Rad. Okay, we're getting familiarity with animals. I'm very excited about all of this. You stop trying to get past it and just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning you away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking in soothing tones. The agitated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you by. Okay, so we're gonna stress out pretty soon. But before that, what if I got that log? I can't get to that log? Nope, okay, I'm blocked by the objects. Well, let's figure this out. Some farmland is spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they're doing very well. Nobody's around right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. There are some meager-looking crops ready to harvest, but animals are starting to get at them. So we could just try to salvage that stuff. Try to plant something. I can't imagine planting something here is going to be a good idea. I'll just try to salvage something, see if we can bring something home as a gift. You pull up a handful of wrinkly tubers. Okay, just food. They're probably supposed to be potatoes eventually, or maybe yams? It's hard to tell. You dig around a little longer, but it's all pretty picked over. Okay, we gotta go home now. That was fun, though. Man, our perception increased considerably. Yeah, that's really cool. I really like getting to do outdoor expeditions. We have to go to sleep. But before I do any of that, I need to probably do it in real life. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm really digging this game. I could see how I could sit down with this, like, were I not running it for the channel. I could definitely see how I might sit down with this thing early in the morning one day and just play it all the way through in one sitting. It's very propulsive. I hope y'all are enjoying it as much. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we're going to catch a little nap and then maybe just go out beyond the wall again. I guess we got to be careful because it's very stressful, but the stat gains are pretty solid. Yeah, we might be spending a lot of time outside in the near future. We'll see. And we'll see you then.